Am I audible? Hello, Venkatesh sir. Okay, thank you so much. Guys, we can wait for a couple of more minutes so that another people can join. Okay, and then we can have a start. So we have very less participants so far. Let the other people can join in.
आ रहे हम लोग ना भाई।
Yeah. So I hope people are not interested so far. I don't know. I'm not able to get why people are not joining us. So still we have very less participants so far. Anyway, sir, can you please ask people to join us as soon as possible?
Okay, sir. I will inform all the students, sir. You carry
Okay.
on, sir.
Okay, then fine. Then fine. Then no problem at all. Yeah. So yeah, let me just share my screen once again. Yeah. So we were at WX Python. What is exactly the difference between the code difference of if you are gonna use text control, or is it if you are gonna use dynamic sizing? So what exactly the difference between that? Dynamic sizing, when we are trying to use, then we have to use dynamic sizer, where exactly I am writing wx dot box sizer and wx dot vertical. Then again we have text control, where I'm gonna write here some sort of a sizer. If you will closely look into the code, I have clearly mentioned here dynamic sizer dot add self text control. Okay, and wx dot expand, which is nothing but the wx which we have imported from here, import wx. And then we have another method, or you can say like two different methods called as all and expand. It's a kind of properties basically, which allows us to expand automatically. Okay, and we have just given the position in the case of when we are trying to use the fixed size. Okay, uh, so let me just go back to Python code, where exactly I can show you what actually I am trying to say. So allow me some time so that I can able to open this. Yes. So let me share my screen, where actually I'm gonna show you the code. I hope everybody would able to see my Jupyter notebook. I hope you are pretty much familiar with this UI or not. So this is nothing but the Jupyter notebook, where actually if you wanted to write some sort of piece of code, you can here just write down, and then wherever you wanted to run. So here it's my notebook actually, where I'm trying to write everything as in when I need it. So here I have just quickly, I can show like WX Python I have mentioned. Before that, what should I do is, let me just write something else. Yeah. So guys, if I will today teach you about this, which is nothing but the Tinker only, tomorrow you have to come up with the solution. Okay, so tomorrow how do you do that? So as I said, when I was talking about Kinter, I have clearly mentioned test.kinter.tk. Okay, just a minute, allow me some time. Yeah, sorry. So if you will just write this, and you will look into my presentation which I was showing you before. Yeah, yeah. As I said, like it first you have to import the Kinter module first, and then we have to create application main window, and then you have to add one or more features to the GUI application. Now here we have to enter the main event loop to take action each event triggered by the user. So now if we will see here what I have done, I have just imported the library. Okay, and then we have just mentioned kinter.tk and then test.main loop. Let me run this. Yeah, so here you must be not able to see this, but I am getting some sort of a frame. So let me share that frame. So this is what the frame which you can see now. So as I have mentioned here TK, you can see here TK, this is what the frame which comes up. Okay, guys, are you able to see my screen or not? So somebody can ping me by saying yes, we are able to see that frame. So this is what the frame where you have to insert the button, you have to just insert click and everything. Okay, great. So thank you Navya for quick acknowledgement. Let me just stop sharing about this and let me again reshare this. Yeah, yeah. Now here what I'm trying to do in the very next step, I'm trying to create one button which is named as press button. Okay, and we have to write what? It's a text which is being written here as in click. Okay, so what I am writing tk.tk and title I'm trying to write here as in press button, and in the button you have to write just text over it which is nothing but the click. Okay, so let me perform this step again. Now if I will share my screen, the newly created form is like this. Now at the same time, if you would be able to see my code as well as my frame, then let me share that. I hope if I will share like this, then you would be able to see both the things. Okay, now if you will see here, I have created one form which is named as press button. Here I have written click. Click is what? Click is my one button where exactly when suppose some action I need to perform, I will write some method inside the click. There must be some sort of a coding which I need to write behind this, but for the time being I have just created one sort of frame where I have just mentioned one button. That's it. And if I will click here like click, then what is gonna happen? Nothing. Okay, because I have done nothing. So here I am just writing button.tag and an r.main loop. Okay, so that is what happened in here. Okay, this is what actually you can write a code in this manner. Okay, and here if you will see, I have just performed here command is equal to r.destroy. So that means if I will press that, I will click on it, then it is gonna destroy it. Okay, so that is what happened right away. Now suppose I wanted to write something called as I was looking into, if you might have observed that I was clearly mentioning like we had check button which was male and female and something like that. So how do you insert these kind of a check button into the frame? Okay, so that I have performed using what you can see here from Kinter. I'm just trying to do import, and here master is equal to tk variable one I have taken, which is nothing but the variable into where check button I'm trying to write Kajal with the name, and then we have Anushka, we have Tamanna, and then we have Rakul. Okay, so these are the various names which I have just tried to mention over the checkbox. So you have to select which one is your favorite actress. So you have to select. Now let me just run this and just let me show you. Yep, I hope everybody would be able to see that, though it's a very small screen because I haven't resize it. But yeah, you can see here, if you will click here, yeah, you can choose out, means like out of 4 you are, your favorite is 2, let's say. Okay, so this is how this particular, frame is having checkbox and check button. Okay, are you getting my point, guys? Is there any doubt so far? Great, thank you. I, at least I'm getting one response from, Navya. So in this way, if you wanted to insert, you can insert checkbox, check button. You can also insert one button, and then further, if we will move down, then I will create, some sort of a label where I'm gonna ask you to enter your first name, enter your last name, enter your mobile number, and all. So let me do that kind of exercise. So guys, if you will see here, why I'm trying to show you this kind of approach, you know what, if you would be able to see this, okay, and if you know how to do that, okay, and before that, first of all, it's up to everyone, please try to, install Python, if at all you do not have installed yet. Okay, it is it is mandatory to each and everyone at least install Python on your their system, because this entire case study is given to you. It's not to test your, whether you would be able to clear the case study. It is just to check what would be your approach, whether you were trying to attempt to that case study or not. So they are not going to monitor you whether you have done everything correctly or everything is perfect. No, they are just trying to check what is your approach, how exactly you are trying to proceed, how exactly you are looking into the problem statement, what would be your approach to look into it. So that is what they are trying to check. And why I have been assigned to you guys to, give this kind of a lecture, that because we have been into the case study from the last, so many times. Now we have done so many case studies. Even I have given case studies to people who are living in Mumbai, as well as they are working in Mumbai. So it's always good for you to at least get some approach, get some sort of a basic how exactly we have to proceed. Then you would be able to visualize your problem, you would be able to visualize your problem statement. Okay, now what I was saying is, let me just run this. Okay, this we have done already. I'm gonna need to run this. Where exactly I'm trying to run? Master level, enter your first name, enter your last name. So let me run this. Yeah. Now you can see here, it is asking enter your first name. So I'm gonna write Praveen. Let's say. Okay. So here I'm gonna write enter your last name. So I'm gonna write here SINGH. Here I'm gonna write my mobile number. Let's say my mobile number is like this. So this is how, suppose in a problem statement, if you will clearly look, the TCS problem statement, they have asked you to ask users to enter, provide some UI where user can enter something, some sort of a UI they want you to develop. So this is one of the approach where you just take this kind of label and text control. Then you just once you write this, You have just you need to provide some sort of a button, which I have clearly mentioned, you know, previous to this, and then you just submit. Then this entire entry is gonna inside into your database. So that is what connectivity you need to make. But take everything in a step manner, you know, in a concise manner. When I say concise manner, that means first of all you have to come up with the proper UI. Okay, where user can give their name, user can provide their customer ID, mobile number, their what is that, what product he has purchased, by what amount he has paid to you guys, and the loyalty points. Okay, so this is what actually thing which you need to look. Now if we will slowly move on to the next, then we can see here. Let me close this. Yeah. Now here I have just gone somewhere else, and then I have come up with this kind of a frame. Okay, which has a kind of button. We will see what exactly, how exactly it looks like. So it's just to show you, if you can just follow something, some sort of create some button with a different name. It's a you can change the color of the button, text of a buttons, everything you can do by your own. Yeah, you can see here. What is that? It's a red, brown, blue. Okay. See, each button is having their color, different color. What I have done so far, so let me share again. What I have written here, I have written here frame, where root, bottom frame dot pack, red button, it's a button, and same frame in which you need to write text as in red, and the background, foreground color you can say, is equal to red. Same similar fashion you can just change the background color as well. Okay, red button dot pack is what first one I have here clearly mentioned, bottom, and then red button I have mentioned as in left. Here green button you can say, like I have clearly mentioned as in side left. Okay, so you just basically need to adjust your all the buttons. Now here we have just move on further, and here I am trying to do something extra which can be useful at when you will do your case study. So this part of a code is definitely useful for you. So here you're just trying to access some files, and wanted to open some images. Okay, then you have to just use the open, then it will browse automatically to the folder where from where exactly you can open the file. And I'm just trying to keep everything as in file, and then inside the file new, open, edit, save. And then we have another called label as in exit, and then we have another label which is nothing but the help, which contains the sub menu as in about and contact us. So let me share that. Sorry, actually I was thinking where my screen went. Yeah, now you can see here it's just it has file. If I will click over there, yeah, you are getting new, open, edit, save, and exit. If you have help, then you are getting about, contact us. Okay. So here we can see the options called as new, open, edit, save, and then exit. This is what you generally get when you try to, try to open some application and there you wanted to add something or maybe you wanted to edit something. That is what, and that is how people used to build their own application. Okay. I hope so far there would be no doubt. If yes, please reach out to me online or offline. Up to you. Okay. Guys, is there any doubt so far? And the code is pretty much simple. If you will clearly see here, as compared to Java, Python code is pretty much simple. Okay. I don't know how many of you are able to say or able to see this, but that's true. Guys, is there anyone who doesn't have any understanding, who is not able to cope up with me? Just do let me know so that because I can't rely on one person who keep on saying, sir, I'm able to understand, I'm able to understand. I need everybody would be able to, out of 14 students, what I want is at least out of 14, 14 should get placed. Okay. And everything depends on this, like this entire session or class, you can say. If you will work hard, if you will listen carefully, definitely you will come up with something. Okay. Now another thing here, I have just trying to create contact and about same. I am trying to add something called as menu button and then nothing. Now here I have just created some frame. Okay, using you can say like wx.frame. So here we have to import wx. And then class mywin, which is nothing but the my window. And then you can see here I have just created one button which is named as click me, and then event, that is one event. On clicked event we have to perform something. Click to go, click to on. Okay, and then we have this panel, click me, vbox.add, self.button, align center, and all. Now toggle button, I have again created one of the toggle button where I have written click to on, and then new.bmp, which is nothing but the images. Now if you will see here, I have just trying to mention something as a label for pressed button, toggle button state off, toggle button state down. Okay, so let me run this. Oops. I guess somewhere I have missed something. Anyway, I don't want to waste your time. Anyway, maybe means tomorrow we will come up with this, but I might have missed something. So let me just quickly move on to WX Python, as we have already covered WX Python. So let me move on to that. So in WX Python, I have clearly mentioned how to create GUI using WX Python. If you will run this, you will again get one different screen. I hope everybody would be able to see this screen. Now here what I was mentioning. So one frame has been created, which is nothing but the title called as the Hello WX Python. Okay, and the parent is nothing but none. I have clearly mentioned none. Okay, so this is what the frame which comes in. Now, after that, let me just close that frame. Now let me run this. Here what I am trying to do is, I'll show you. Oops, my bad. I haven't closed the previous form. Sorry, my bad. Wait for a while, guys. I'm just trying to see where the form has been opened, because the form is already open and I'm not able to see. Anyway, let me just close this. Let's see. We need to take some more time, because it is my kernel is gonna restart. Yeah, now it's fine. Finally, I got the output. Anyway, so let me run this and let me see what exactly the form. So let me share this form where I'm trying to ask user to enter something. Okay, and then trying to submit something. Now here I'm gonna write something called as my name, let's say, and I'm gonna submit. Okay, so this is what actually the program looks like. So here you have to write, you have to perform some event on the backend side, where you have to write If user will enter submit, then on click event you have to perform, you have to save this entire thing which was written as in the on the backend. Maybe you can say like on the server side. Okay. Now let me go again, and using this let me just create another thing which is nothing but the Python world. So let me run that as well. Oops, my bad, I guess something went wrong. Okay, dummy frame I have already created, that is why it is throwing an error. Okay. WX Python I haven't created yet. So let me write this again. Yeah. Sorry, my bad. I haven't created this first of all. Yep, right. Okay. So sometimes you may get this kind of an error. Please always try to restart it and try to reconnect. Okay. Because sometimes what happen, your some of the program or maybe some of the background processes keep on running and you may face some issue. So that is what a good thing is, try to restart it always. So let me run this. Yes, now we are perfectly fine. Okay, then where we were, I have already showed this. Okay, I guess we were into this submit. I guess submit is also done. Yep. So sorry for the delay. And this was the code which I was talking about. I haven't done dynamic resizing, or I have done dynamic resizing. Let me see. You can see here if my screen is this is fine. If I will make it bigger, then my dynamic resizing is being done. Okay, so that is how you should maintain your screen. That is how you should do this kind of effect. Okay, if I will do the same thing, let me write like this and let me close this. So now what I was doing here, you can see here I was running the code of dynamic sizer. So here I have written dynamic sizer dot add self text control and wx dot all wx dot expand. If same thing, if similar fashion, I will do this. Yeah. So once again, I need to restart my kernel. So my kernel is still not ready. So let me just keep moving this. Yeah, I guess kernel is ready now. Let me see what exactly it is. Yes. Yeah. So as I said, like sometimes you will get some error which is a bit strange to you as well. Now you can see here, I'm gonna show you here. It's not a dynamic resizing. So if I will, just slight move to my, screen, or maybe you can say like frame to move further towards the left side, you can see like there is no resizing happen on a text box. If I will move here again, my text size is almost same, and that is almost fixed. And that is what options is being provided in a dynamic sizer. Okay, so based on the requirement, you can create this kind of a, you can say like text to control box. Now what next? No, as we have covered almost what was that, wx python as well as Kinter. So here we have another frame which is nothing but here I'm just trying to do somewhat extra thing. So let me just run this. Here what is that, it's I have created one dummy frame in which what I'm trying to do is on a click event I'm just trying to write something. Okay, so far I haven't showed you anything, but let me run this now. Here let's say I'm gonna write something. Let me share something over screen. Yeah, so here as you can see here, it's a dynamic size of text control. Yeah, that's pretty much understandable. Now here I'm gonna write something. Hey, this is let's say, let me just submit this. Before submitting, let me just share you the entire screen so that on the back end also you can see what exactly the output I'm getting. Now you can see here when I enter into the submit, on a below this you are getting, hey, you have typed, hey, this is Python program, and that is what I have typed. Okay, now let me just close this again and let me run again this. Yeah, oh my goodness, again kernel restart is gonna happen. Yeah, my kernel is almost ready, so let me again run this. Yeah, so now I'm getting here another same frame which I used to show you previously. Let me share both. Now here, if I'm not gonna write anything, what will you get? So I'm not writing anything, but I'm just trying to click on this. So if I will press submit button, let's say I'm pressing this submit button. Yeah, you can see here, hey, you need to enter something you haven't done yet. So that means I have to type something here. Otherwise, I can on click event, I can perform another action which is nothing but the you have to enter something. Okay. So let me just close this. Okay. And we'll see. So guys, I guess you got some idea how to come up with UI. Okay, so I'm assuming tomorrow when our class will start, or maybe in afternoon session, I will ask maybe one of you, or maybe I'm happy if everybody will come up with some sort of a UI where you can ask a user to enter your name, enter your address, or maybe enter your mobile number, and some sort of a comment box. Okay, or maybe somebody can come up with the UI where you have to browse something. Okay, that browse button will ask you to take it from computer, then you can just choose some images, or maybe you can choose some sort of a file. Then once you have uploaded, then you just have to print like file has been uploaded or file has been taken. Okay, so this small activity you have to perform by your end. Okay, and still if you guys wanted to look into the entire coding or maybe lecture, you can say, then you just quickly look into the YouTube link which is being provided to in the beginning of your class, where exactly we have your college people have provided you my link. So there I have given I have taught about how exactly you can use Kinter, how exactly you can use WX Python to develop some sort of a UI. That is what your main agenda is. Okay, so far so good. Somebody is asking about to share this notebook. Definitely I can share with you all. It's not at all an issue, but yeah, it's always good if you can try to come up with your own thing. I can share no problem at all. Okay, after this let me just so far what we have done, we have looked into how to create normal UI. Now here, see, there may you guys may feel like so much difficulty, or maybe somebody will come up tomorrow and they will say like, sir, I'm not able to create the button control, or maybe I'm not able to take and the text box control, whatever uh, user can enter, I'm not able to save anywhere else. So to do that you have to create database. You have to connect that your database with the Python. That is a different sort of exercise which I will take care in the end, or maybe in the you can say like in the mid of our entire session. But yeah, meanwhile it's always good you can start with a chunk. So one small chunk, take it as an UI, and then I will go through the one of the case study which is being quite famous. So I will cover today itself. So with this I'm just trying to wrap up one thing. At least everybody should come up with UI. Now I guess you guys would be able to do that. Okay, at least take some inputs from the user, and for the time being don't save it anywhere, because if I will ask you to save it on a database or maybe on a table, then you will again come up with how to do the connection between Python to the MySQL. So that is a different thing, but yeah, at least you should come up with some good UI, and UI should be based on your use case. So suppose you are thinking something like you wanted to build this kind of a case study, then try to do a different case study. So don't copy with your classmates. Okay, now let me just move on to the one of the case study which is based on AIML. Okay, let me just start with that. Today I'm gonna give you overview, you can say. Maybe tomorrow we can share you some uh, entire code also, but To do that, what I'm expecting from you, everyone, I'm gonna show you case study, okay, which is totally rely on AI ML. Now, based on that only, you have to just fit the analogy between the case study is being given by you, given to you by TCS, and try to make your own case study, come up with your own cases. Sir, we wanted to do this kind of a case study, and with the help of my case study. Or maybe you can say like, you will tomorrow you will come up and you will say, sir, I wanted to build this, can you please help me out, you know to come up with a good case study. So definitely I will sit with you, and definitely we will work together and come up with good case study. Now, before moving on, I'm just trying to describe the problem statement, which it's a, I don't know how many of you are aware about this problem statement, but yeah, it's a good one. So the problem is lead scoring case study, and where exactly one of the company which is named as, let's say, it's an education company named as X Education, will sells let's say online courses to the industry professional. Okay, on any given day, many professionals who are quite interested in the courses landed to their website and browse their courses. Okay, the what company wants is, company market its courses on a several website and search engine like Google. So company tries to advertise themselves about their courses is available on a, let's say, on a YouTube, their advertisement is there. Let's say like in Google they used to put some sort of a you can say like what, their advertisement. Okay, once these people land on the website, by by looking into the advertisement, people may come up by clicking on that on that link, they landed into their website. They might browse the course or fill a form for the course, or maybe they can watch some videos. And when these people fill up the form by providing their email address or phone number, they are classified to be a lead. Are you getting my point? Okay. Does anyone having any question, any doubt so far? Please ask. Is there any doubt? As I'm telling you, this is the pure AI ML based case study. So if you will not build UI or database, still they will consider you if you will be able to do this kind of a case study. But it's my suggestion for you all, always try to come up with UI, try to come up with database. Okay, and don't rely on my case study only. It's just a suggestion for you, for each and everyone, to at least participate on this. But you all should prepare your own case study. So far in my problem statement, is there is there anyone having any doubt? Guys, please ping me.
Hello, sir. Praveen, sir. This is Venkatesh.
Okay, great.
Sir,
Okay, then perfectly fine.
so
Yeah.
can you mention the case studies what we are selected, and what are the fields required? So if you assign the task to the students, so that
Okay.
they will do at home, they prepare
Okay.
case study, they won't.
Okay. No,
Huh?
what I'm thinking is, at
Huh.
least so to by today's lecture,
Huh.
so far what they are able to do, that
Hmm.
at least they would able to come up with UI, proper UI.
Okay,
So
that's it, sir. Proper in
yeah.
order to develop proper UI. Otherwise,
Mhm.
you have to give one case study like that. So it
Mhm.
has one label fields, text fields, check boxes, radio
Yes,
buttons.
yes, yes,
So what
yes.
are the widgets required? So you have to
Yeah,
give one form like that.
yeah. So
So
what?
that students will prepare develop case study at home.
Okay.
So once they are good at case study, how to prepare the frame. So
Yeah.
that they will automatically prepare their own
Okay.
case study frames.
Okay, okay. I will at the end of this class, definitely I will talk with them, and definitely I will ask like these are the field you have to come up in a UI.
Yes, yes.
Anyway, means it's pretty much known.
Mm.
Like suppose you are entering the form, online form for a college.
Yes.
Okay. So where you have to just enter your fees, or maybe you have to pay your fees. There you have to enter your roll number. There you have to enter your name. There you have to enter your branch and everything like that. And then somewhere you have to just upload your document. These things. I mean, I'm not asking everybody to, finally you can build your entire case study.
Case
It's
study.
just the
So
beginning.
that frame will consist of
Yeah.
all the widgets, so that
Okay.
so
Yeah.
students are well aware of how to use the widgets.
Okay.
Once they are well, then automatically they will develop their own case study
Yes.
format.
Yes. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
So guys, so far in this case study, lead scoring case study, which I'm talking about, which I'm gonna start now, everybody would be able to get what exactly the company objective is. If yes, then I will move on. Okay. So here, moreover, the company also gets lead through the past referrals. Okay. So when I say past referrals, that means what? When I say past referrals, anybody? Past referrals means suppose I have done the courses and just I am trying to refer my one of friends. So when I'm trying to refer one of my friends, that means that is referred by me. Okay, so that is what the past referral is. Yes. Yeah, right. Absolutely. Thank you so much for the response. So once these once these leads are acquired, employees from the sales team start making a call. Okay, writing emails. Okay, calling them. These are the things which their different team, basically which is sales team, is trying to do that. Okay, when they are trying to do this, when they will get leads from these different referrals, from the browsing history, or from various search engine, or from the various website who had arrived to your website, basically to the organization website. Now once these leads are acquired, employee from the sales team, they will start making the call. Now through this process, some of the leads get converted while most do not. Okay, now if suppose you always get some call from sales and they used to tell us, sir, can you please take the credit card of this bank? Okay, so there may be a chance like in one day they try to make 5 calls. Let's say out of 5 calls nobody would take that. Okay, nobody would enter the form. Okay, and there may be a chance in one day, maybe 5 out of 5, 3 to 4 people have opted to take the card. Let's say credit card. Okay, so how do you identify that? So through this process, some of the leads get converted. So the leads which get converted means those who are able to take the credit card, or maybe those who are able to take the course, is nothing but called as converted, while most of them do not. Okay, the typical lead conversion rate at X Education is around 30%. So when I say we have called, or maybe sales team have called 100 people, out of 100 people only 30% people were able to convert, means 30% people were able to take your courses. Then that means only 30% are your lead conversion rate. Okay, now although X Education gets a lot of leads, its lead conversion rate is very poor. Okay, now for example, if we say they acquire 100 leads in a day, only about 30 of them are converted. To make this process more efficient, the company wishes to identify the most potential leads, which we generally call it as a hot leads. Okay, if they successfully identify this set of leads, the lead conversion rate should go up, as the sales team will now be focusing more on the communicating only the potential leads rather than making calls to everyone. So let's say out of 100 customers, I keep on making a call to 100 customers, but only 30 people would be able to take my calls, or maybe they used to take our education, or maybe their X organization education. Now, I have made 100 calls. Okay, I want to be more efficient, man. No, my entire organization should be more efficient. Out of 100, if I would make only 50 calls. Out of 50 calls, only 30 people would be able to take, or 30 people would be able to take my course. Then my requirement is getting suffice. Okay, that means my efficiency is better than previous one. Okay, so that is what their agenda is. Now, in the beginning, as it is saying, lot of leads generated in the initial stage, but only a few of them come out as a paying customer from the bottom. Now, I just want to focus only those people who would be able to take my classes. And rather than focusing on everyone, I would be only interested into the people who have probability 80% plus, who can take my classes, who can take my sessions. Okay, so that is what my entire goal is. Now, in the middle stage, you need to nurture the potential leads well. That is educating the leads about the product, constantly communicating in order to get a higher lead conversion rate. Okay, so now X Education has appointed you. Let's say you are what? You are analytic, and you are working with X Education. They have appointed you and they ask you to help them to select the most promising leads. That is the leads that are most likely to convert into the paying customer. Ultimately, their objective is to, those who are going, you are making a call to whom all the people should take online classes. So your effort should be 100%, but that is the ideal case. Okay, but if you are making 50 calls, at least 30 to 40 people would take class. That is also a good efficiency. Okay, okay. The company require you to build model where you need to assign a lead score to each of the leads, such that the customers with higher lead score have a higher conversion chances. Okay, okay. Are you getting my point? Yeah. So now what happened? Here I'm just trying to, they are trying to build the model. The company requires you to build a model wherein you need to assign a lead score to each lead such that the customer with higher lead score have a higher conversion chances, with lower lead score have a lower conversion chances. So you would be able to segment the people. You would be able to make segmentation here itself in the beginning itself. Okay, so basically they want 80% conversion rate. Now here I have already defined the goal of the case study is, so it's your beginning stage. So when you are in a beginning stage, so what kind of a model would be better for you to apply? So build a logistic regression model to assign a lead score between 0 to 100. As in the morning I was talking about, define one scale. In that scale you should just mention 0 to 5. Okay, so 0 you would be going to give what? Poor, and then 1, and then 2, and then 3. So 1 means what? Fully satisfied, or maybe you can say like satisfied, outstanding, and then maybe you can say like 2 is it's quite satisfied. Then 3 is what? 3 is for what? 3 is overall. Then 4 is what? 4 is what? Not satisfied. And fifth is what? Poor. So maybe this kind of a scale you can make. Here I am just trying to make some lead score. I am trying to make the lead score of 0 to 100. Okay. And here I am trying to write between 0 to 100, and each of the lead which can be used by the company to target potential leads. A higher score would mean that the lead is hot. Here, if suppose the person or a lead is about 90, then that means it is a hot lead. Okay, that means it's a most likely to convert, whereas a lower score would mean that the lead is cold, will most likely not to get converted. Okay, so there are more problems presented by the company which your model should be able to adjust to it. So if the company requirement changes in the future, so you will need to handle these as well. The problem are provided in a separate doc. Okay, I will share with you, and we have to fill it based on the logistic regression model. So I will give you some sort of a question as well. Okay, which can be asked during your maybe during your interview when you submit this. They may come up with some questions. So I have already defined some questions, some sort of a questions which are pretty much you can say like most of the people would ask like this. Okay, now also make sure you include in your final ppt. So yeah, so as you might have seen in your requirement or maybe your case study, you have to submit your presentation, or maybe you have to share the webinar link with them, and then you have to share your ppt by saying this. So I will also help you to make the ppt, how that ppt should be presentable, so that they can value you. Okay, now here what I'm trying to do is, first of all, we would like to import some necessary libraries. So here, when I say necessary libraries, we have to use some sort of a libraries which are necessary for what? Pandas, NumPy, Scalar, Matplotlib. These are the libraries which are essential for machine learning AI ML tasks. So this is what library which TCS people were talking about. So as they have written one statement where they have mentioned, so try to use open source and open source libraries. Okay, so this is what they were talking about. So NumPy, Pandas, Scalene, Matplotlib, okay, Seaborn. So each library has having their identifier. So whenever it comes, I will definitely talk about that library, what exactly it does. Okay, now to display all the values, we will try to use this maybe PD is some sort of a data frame which you can say here, or maybe here pandas, in which pandas is having some application, or maybe you can say like some sort of a function which is having to display all the values present in the columns. Okay, so PD is having set options method where you can display all maximum columns, or maybe you can say display maximum rows. Okay, now apart from that, we have few libraries which is nothing but the feature scaling, and then we have another library which is nothing but the uh, train test split. So we have sklearn model selection, train test split. So here we can import library for train test split. Okay, what exactly the train test split, let me just share here what exactly it is. So generally you develop some model, let's say. Okay, when you develop some model, how do you test that your model is good? Okay, so to test that, you are about to create your test data set. Okay, so suppose you have a data set. Okay, 100% you're going to build your model, and that model is going to be trained using training set, which is nothing but the 70%. Somewhere people used to take as 80%. Okay, now, okay, 80% and 70%. Now and rest or remaining data set is known as test data set, which is used to test at the time of when your model is already built. Okay, so this is what train test. Now instead of you are going to create that, we try to use what? we try to just use the function which is present in the library called as sklearn. There is a model selection, and there you have to just import test train test split, and then you have to just pass. I'll show you how to pass your scale, or maybe you can say like ratio. Okay, now sklearn linear model which import logistic regression. As I said in the beginning, you have to use logistic regression for this case study, and then importing stats model as a library by viewing the elaborate static summary. So to know the static summary of your model, you have to use stats model.api. Okay. Now, let me move on. There are a few more libraries which we will talk about. Confusion matrix, which I'm gonna use somewhere. So that is also the part of sklearn library only. We have to import matrix, then we have to call confusion matrix from there. Okay. Now, first of all, always it's a first step to do EDA. Okay, and this is what the question definitely they are gonna ask. They will ask you what all steps do you perform when you are going to do some sort of analysis. Okay, they will definitely come up with this question. What will you do when you will get some data? Okay, so your answer has to be, I am gonna do exploratory data analysis. I will do analysis. Okay, and then what next? That is also I will be covering on uh, the moment I will get that. Okay, now these are the pretty much basic command which you can say like that is available on in a Python. When you wanted to know where exactly you what exactly your working directory, you just need to write os dot get cwd current working directory. Okay, which we will get like this. Now what next? Check for file lead.csv in directory os.list directory. You have to just list out all the directories. So here I'm just trying to mention all the directories here. To read the data frame, what you need to do is, so here leads.csv is one of the file in which my data presents, and then how I'm gonna read to the data frame is pd dot, which is nothing but the pandas as pd I have written dot read csv, and where I'm gonna write here list.csv. Now I just wanted to know the shape of my entire data frame, so I will just call it as a list.shape. So what exactly the shape is? 37 columns we have. Out of 37 columns we have 9240 rows. Okay, that much data do you have. Now first of all, let me show you what exactly the data, okay, present in my this case study. And what would be the benefit, what would be the dictionary, so that you can get the visualization what all fields do you need to keep in your case study. Okay, now so first of all let me just share you the excel sheet. Yeah, so here but the prospect id, I will show you what exactly the prospect id is later on. It's just a number, you can say the id, you can say, or maybe the lead number which is being generated uniquely. Okay, maybe you can have a count kind of like this particular lead has been generated first, this lead has been generated second, something like that. And from where, what would be the origin of the lead generation? Maybe api, or maybe landing page submission, maybe api landing page submission. If you wanted to look what sort of a field it has, you can just filter on it. So yeah, So you can see here it's a lead is generated from API, or maybe from landing page submission, or maybe from lead add form, or maybe from lead import, or maybe quick add forum. Okay, so these are the nothing but the landing page, or maybe you can say like the origination of the lead. Okay, so this is what basically the lead origin. Now, what is my lead scoring or lead source? Lead origin, that means whether it comes from the API, or maybe it comes from the form, it comes from the page submission, from where. But when I talk about lead source is quite this. So maybe lead comes from Bing, okay, blog, or maybe click to call, maybe Facebook, from the Google, maybe live chat, maybe Ola chat, maybe references, maybe referential sites, maybe social media, maybe from somewhere else. Okay, you don't know. Okay, so leads can be from anywhere. So lead origin can be like this. So you can see here I have just specified lead also came from maybe YouTube channel, maybe VLearn, or maybe social media, or maybe referral sites, or maybe based on Facebook or Instagram, wherever. Okay, now here we have another field which I have just mentioned, like do not email, means the person who has done this, he hasn't provided his mail. Okay, do not more call means we haven't made a call, or maybe he hasn't provided any call. And just like here converted, what whether this particular guy is converted or not. So 0 means not converted, or not conversion, 1 means conversion. Okay, so total visit, you can see like here through this 0 visit has happened on this page, 5 total number of visit has happened for this. Okay, so as you can see like number of visit, you can say like same person is visiting using this maybe leading origin multiple times, maybe 5 times. 5 times is not less, you know. So you can say it's a good person, we can contact him, or maybe you can call him, maybe you can mail to them. Okay, so based on your frequency count of this total visit, you can call them, or maybe you can reach out to them. Now here what is saying, total time spent on the website. So he has visited 5 times and he has spent almost 674 minutes, or maybe you can say like seconds. Okay, so this is what basically how you can think about the simple use case. Okay, guys, if you want to take 5 to 10 minutes, 5 minutes of a break, please take it. Okay, have some sort of water and all. So guys, I'm also uh, having my, let me drink some water. Okay, just we will be back around 3:30. Yeah, 3:30. Okay, so it's a 7 minutes of break. So don't go out, don't leave it. I'm just keeping myself in a mute. Okay. Yeah. Hi. So once again, welcome back. Yeah. Sorry, I was quite a bit thirsty, so I thought like let me have some water. Uh yeah. So where we were? Yeah. So as you can see here, total time spent on website. I was looking into that. So it's in, you can say, second. So here means like this person has visited, 2 times only, but he has spent a lot of bit time. So you must be looking at your web, maybe your web page, you can say. And this person is also has done the same thing. This one is a bit better. Yeah. So if you might have seen, the person who has spent more time is getting converted. So you can see here we are getting one corresponding. Okay. So here you can see here total time spent on this on the website is 1532, and he has visited only 2 times, but he has spent a lot much time into their website, so that lead is converted into one. Okay. So you can imagine, so these are the input you can take from the users, like the name or maybe leading source or maybe all, and just you can show the output as in whether this particular person is converted or not, whether this particular, maybe you can predict whether this particular, if he has spent time more than 1,000 second, then that means it is going to the lead is getting converted. Okay. This can be a one sort of a prediction. Okay. So I will share the data set as well, so don't worry about it. Okay. This data set, you can get at least idea what field should we take on a UI, and what should be the field you can take on output, what should be the input, what should be the output, you should decide that. Okay. If you won't be able to decide that, I would I would help you to take what exactly the field you wanted to keep in a UI, whether in a uh, you can say like in input side or whether it is in a output side. Now, what is the page views per visit? So suppose you have spent 666.74 here, the page, but how many pages you have visited on that particular visit? So you have just visited 2.5 pages. Somewhere you have visited 2 pages only. Here people have visited eight pages, you can say. Now here also we are mentioning last activity. So in the last activity, if you will see what has happened, means it this input comes from the sales team. So last activity, when we say, that means this up last activity, this email is being bounced, or maybe he has the in email we have provided some link and he has clicked on it, or maybe he has opened the email which we have provided, maybe he has just received the email, maybe he has submitted the form on our website, maybe we had a make a phone call, maybe page visited on a website, maybe SMS has been sent to this guy, maybe he's unreachable, maybe he's unsubscribed. So view in browser, link clicked. So visited a booth, or maybe you can say like visited a booth in trade show. Okay. So basically these are the last activity last time which he has done. Now in which country he basically resides? So basically I am just trying to mention India. Now after that we have specialization. Specialization, what does that mean is, this lead number is has done, maybe we got some information whether he is belonging to business administration, he is from banking investment insurance, or maybe he has done hospital management, human resource management, maybe he has done media or advertisement. whether he belongs to retail management, whether he belongs to rural agriculture, and from travel and tourism. What? So basically, we are just trying to get the result of whether this particular leading member, or maybe you can say like this particular guy, belongs or maybe specialize in this particular field. Okay, getting? Now, how did we reach to this guy? Or maybe how did you hear about X education? Maybe we will be asking one question from user. Let's say it's a kind of a form, okay, which you can assign to the any user. Okay, so you're just allowing means how do you heard about my website? So I'm just trying to mention my, you are trying to provide these many checkbox, and you just wanted to hear from them. So maybe they have they have hear about your education through the advertisement, or maybe through the email, maybe through the multiple sources, or maybe through the you can say like online search. Okay, through social media, through SMS, through student of some school, or maybe through the word of your mouth. Okay, so these are the basically checkbox which we can provide. So this is also the input which you can take it from where we can take it from the users. Now, another thing, what is your current occupation? Whether you are employed, whether you are students, whether you are unemployed, or what? So various fields. So it's a kind of also checkbox. As you can see here, what would be your current occupation? Maybe businessman, maybe housewife, maybe you can say like student, unemployed, working professionals. Okay. Yeah. Now, what next is what matters most to you in choosing a course? Suppose you have taken a choose, maybe you are about to take a course. So what matters to you? Better career prospect, flexibility and convenience, and others. So if you will choose my course, these things are which particular out of these three options, which are the thing which matters to you most. So you have to select, or you should take this from the what? From what? You should take this from the user as an input. We can have, even we can have search, no, 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 or yes, you can say magazine, no, if he has searched through magazine or maybe through newspaper, you can just provide that. Okay, so now what would be the lead quality? No, before that, let me just write here. Yeah, we have, yes and no. Whether it came from the user, it came from digital advertisement, whether it came from through the recommendation, whether it receives more update about our courses. Okay, now here if we will see here tags. Okay, what would be the tags? So in tags, what I am trying to write here is he's a kind of student, he's a busy, or maybe he is diploma holder. Maybe we can mention like he is not eligible. Maybe graduation is in progress. In confusion whether we can do part time or means regular. Now, if we will see here, I have just clearly mentioned already a student. It's a busy, closed by horizon, diploma holder, graduation is in progress, interested in full-time MBA, interested in next batch, interested in other courses, invalid batch, and maybe so on. Okay. It's just a text, so it's a nothing but we are about to provide tags whether he will take this course later on maybe. So it's a just nothing but the view of salespeople whether he would be able to take this on. So that if salespeople will say he will be looking after 6 months or maybe 5 months, then there may be chance like they will come up with you. Now, what would be the quality of that? So based on the tags, you would be able to identify the quality. Okay. So how do you identify the quality? So when I talk about quality, that means this particular lead is highly relevant or low in relevance or might be not sure or worst. Okay. So what I said, lead quality might be it's a high relevance. Okay. Okay, guys. Now there is another field. Update me on supply chain content. This is nothing but some sort of a platform which we people are currently using. Now get updates on DM content, direct messaging content. Now here we have lead profile. So what would be your lead profile? Maybe potential lead, maybe literal students, maybe dual specialization students, maybe a student of some school. Okay. Now here, what would be the city of this particular student? Let's say he belongs to Mumbai or maybe he belongs to some metro cities or maybe something like that. Okay, asymmetric activity index. So as I said, asymmetric activity index it can be classified as an high, medium, low, and all. Okay. Now I was talking about asymmetry activity index and asymmetry profile index. Now before move on, these are the column basically you can look into it. Now let me take you to the definition of each column which has been defined in such a manner so that everything is getting clear. Now you can see here. So this description is being given to you. So as I said, prospect ID, a unique ID with which the customer is being identified. Lead number, a lead number assigned to each lead procured. Lead origin, the origin identifier with which the customer was identified to be a lead. Okay. Then we have a lead source. Basically, the lead source, the source of the lead, which includes maybe Google or maybe some search. Do not email, that means an indicator variable selected by the customer wherein they select whether or not they want to be emailed about the course or not. Do not call as same whether they want to be called or not. Okay, so you can see like these are nothing but one form in which you can just see lead number is automatic number, which you know you will say it's a kind of id which is automatically getting generated. Okay, and lead source, you can just ask them whether from where exactly the origin, or maybe this particular field you can keep inner side inside, because you can ask users what would be the lead source, from where will you get to know about our organization. Okay, so they will say whether they have got from Google, they will say like whether we have received it from YouTube or not. And these are the two fields which they would like. If they don't want, some people feel like we don't want mail, some people will feel like we do not want the call. One is nothing but the converted. So as I said, it's a target variable. So in always keep in mind, we have something called as target variable which we need to predict. Okay, are you getting my point? Which we need to predict. That means in machine learning or in AI ML technique, we wanted to predict something. We wanted to predict future, whether this particular person would be able to take my course or not. We wanted to predict that. Okay, in that case, this should be my y variable. Okay, this should be my target variable. I will tell you what exactly it is target variable means, but for the time being, at least you should be able to understand this particular variable, whether a lead has been successfully converted or not. It's a kind of indicator which would tell you about this. Now, what would be the total visit? The total number of visits made by the customer on the website. Okay, same thing which I was talking about. And then total time spent. The total time spent by the customer on the website. Okay, and the page views per visit. Maybe average number of pages on the website viewed during the visit. Or last activity, the last activity performed by the customer, which includes email open. Okay, whether he has maybe you can say like he has reach out to us using email, or maybe the link which we have sent over the mail, and blah blah. Okay, and the country of the customer basically, and the specialization, basically you can just mention, you just keep restriction of organization, or maybe you can say like a specialization, basically engineering, or maybe you can say like um, what is that, mtech, or maybe 10 12 graduation, something like that. Okay, you can mention in that manner. Apart from that, we have another thing. Now, what is your current occupation? We will ask user what is your current occupation, and even we have how did you reach out to our page, or maybe about X education. Maybe what matters to you choosing this course, an option to be selected by the customer, which indicates that the main motto behind the taking classes. So this is what basically you can say an overall input field which you would ask from the customer. Okay, so as you can see here, specialization, this is what, it's a checkbox. Okay, it's a checkbox, multiple checkbox, whether he's engineering, he's doing engineering, he has done engineering, or he has done MTech, or he has done just graduation, something like that. You can ask. Okay. So once again, let me just go back to my data. Yeah, and he's whether he's agreed to pay. No, before that I was just looking into activity index. It's a medium or a high or low. It's a basically activity. I will tell you what exactly it does, but yeah, for the time being, it's active. Now here we have asymmetric activity score. What would be the score? Okay, so we will talk about score, how exactly we can define that score. Then we have another score called as asymmetric profile score, whether he is a strong or he is not strong. Whether somebody is agreed to pay the amount through the check or not. A free copy of mastering the interview. Okay, when was the last notable activity has happened? Okay, so what is that last notable activity? Maybe you can say like email link clicked, or maybe page SMS has been sent and then you would have reached. Maybe unreachable, maybe means, maybe sometimes what happens, like sales people will try to contact you. So when sales people try to contact you, maybe it happens like they sometimes send a mail. Maybe they you were not reachable. Maybe what happened, like you have not visited to their page. So it's a where this. So it's basically, we can see here whether SMS has been sent, whether it's unreachable or unspoken. Or maybe sometimes it happens like you means sales people will try to reach out to you, but you are not reachable. Or maybe you have just click on the checkbox which is being provided in a mail chain. You can unsubscribe to the this link, something. So these sort of a thing which you can just make in as an entry. Okay, I hope everybody got somewhat clarity about how exactly data has been chosen, what exactly the data has been chosen. Is that what? Is it right? I got some clarity or not? And later on, you will get some more clarity on the this when I will talk about more into the case study. So, guys, just wanted to know: are you aware about this data set, or now you would be able to know about what exactly the field he has taken, what exactly the our objective is? So, I just want participation from each and everyone. Please tell me whether everybody would be able to understand that or not. Just ping me, please. So I got only one response so far. I want others also to tell me whether they are following me, they are able to understand what exactly I'm talking about so far. Thank you, Navya. Thank you, Surya. I want few more response. Mm, I feel like people are sleeping in my class. It's a bit boring, I know, but don't worry, we have to code it, we have to make it. So first of all, I need to tell what exactly you need to do, how exactly you need to make approach. And then you should see how exactly the case study is being formed. Okay, thank you so much. I got two more on reply. thank you so much. Now I'm able to think like now you guys are listening to me. Now, as you can see here, we have columns which we have looked into the which I have already talked about, which are nothing but the fields, prospect ID, lead number, lead origin, lead source, and all. Okay, so these are the nothing but the columns. Now, what are the data types in the data frame, which we can just write the data frame name as well as we can just call it as in using dot d types. What are the data types in the data frame? Okay, here it is prospect ID, lead number, which is nothing but the integer type, lead origin, which is nothing but the object type, lead source is also object type, and then total visits, which is nothing but the floating value. Okay, basically these are when we wanted to identify my data frame of columns. Now, suppose we wanted to know about my data set. We want more information about my data set, how exactly it is. So I should be writing like leads.info, where exactly I can get how many number of entries for this particular field. So there maybe we would be able to identify like how many columns are getting missed. Okay, or maybe sorry, how many values are getting missed. So you can see here we have a lot of miss value placed in here, okay, in tags, and same applied here as well. Now to know about mean, standard deviation, minimum value, 25% of that value, 50%, 75% maximum value, max value, min value, these kind of activity, if we wanted to look, we can just call the data frame and dot describe. Okay, when we write dot describe, then it will describe your data set, what how exactly it is. Okay, so count, as it is saying like total number of count is this much, and then mean is of and your this value, the number is this, then 25% is like this, 50% is like this, 75% is like this. Okay, so this is how basically it is. Now here you can see like if you might have observed this, all the numerical columns are coming out here in this list, because only numerical columns only you can have min, max, and 50% of the value, and mean. Okay, now great. Now quickly we can move on to suppose we wanted to check null values in my data frame. How do we need to check? Okay, that is how we can check. So we will describe that as well. So what exactly it is? It is just trying to round. I'm just trying to get the null values in the my data frame. So leads is what my data frame name is, null dot sum. Wherever it is find null and dot sum, then length divided by length, which is nothing but the leads. Okay. So as you can see here, I'm just trying to get the length of my entire data frame, which is nothing but the total number of columns. Sorry, total number of rows. Okay. And then if I will write like this, I don't know means how many of you are taking a note of it, but try to take a note of it, because this is what the formula which you would be able to identify the null values present in your data frame. Okay, so now with this we can get like number of missing values present in your data field. So here I can see like there is no missing values, but here you can see we are having lot many missing values. Okay, so as 26.63, that means that many missing values are present there. Okay, so you can see here city, lead profile, asymmetric activity index, asymmetric profile index, asymmetric activity score, asymmetric profile score. These are having this many missing values and all. Now here I have clearly mentioned some sort of inference. There are a lot of columns with null or missing values while performing AD on the column. The missing value will be treated as required. So now we got the missing values. Now we have to treat the missing value separate. Now, guys, please do let me know if you would like to continue for today, or you would like to, you know, take it take further tomorrow. So because today it's our first day, I know it's a pretty much hectic, and maybe you can say like to each and everyone, because first day only I'm just going non-stop. So 2 hours now, and before that 2 hours and 2.5 hours, you can say like almost. So guys, if you would be able to digest easily, then I am fine with it. If you would having some difficulty, please do let me know right away, so that I can stop here. Just wanted to check with you all, um, whether you want to continue or not. So maybe if you want to continue tomorrow, that would be fine for me, but just wanted to know from everyone. Guys, it's a voting, please. Just tell me whether you want me to continue or you want me to start tomorrow. Same timing should be same, and same number of hours I'm gonna take. It's just it's a first day. That is why I'm trying to ask you. Any responses? Guys, please do let me know. You want me to continue or you want me to take it on tomorrow? Huh? Guys, please tell me. Nobody is trying to give answers. Why? Okay. Just say yes or no. So, in participant space, you can just have some sort of a button where you can just mention whether you want me to continue or you want me to have further session tomorrow. Hello, guys, are you able to hear me? Okay. Looking at the code, it won't be easy. So people are saying, sir, can you please share the code? So the problem is like I can share you the code, but reading or going through the code is not that much good. So until unless see, the entire code has been written by me. So at least if I will talk about this, then it would be easier for you. No, definitely I will share the code for your reference. That's true. But at least for the time being, you should listen first. Because anyway, means tomorrow, when I will finish this entire case study, definitely I will share you the code. But before that, I just wanted you to get to know what exactly I'm talking about, how exactly I'm trying to get the different values. So you don't believe, but this entire code has been written by me, and it take almost 2 days, 2 to 3 days for me to prepare some case study. Okay. Okay, so thank you, Sojanya. So let me continue with this. Okay. Now from the above, there are, you can see like we have some select values as well, which is equivalent to null values. So when I say select values, so let me tell you what exactly I'm talking about. I guess I have closed that. Let me just open the word again, because I guess I have opened it. Yeah, I have opened it. Yeah. So let me share you what exactly is select value. I can show you so that you would be able to get this one. Yeah. So here you can see we have some blank value, or sorry, we have some select values. Yeah, you can see. So this is nothing but the, maybe somebody has just written select by mistake. Okay, somebody has done this kind of a mistake. Maybe, you know, when everybody would be looking into something else, then people may feel, people may take it very casually, and then just they just mention select. That's it. Okay, so in that case, we would, treat that select as an null values. So here I am trying to convert select in each column to a null value. So here what I'm trying to do, so leads is nothing but my data frame. I'm trying to replace, wherever I'm trying to get select, I'm trying to make that select as in np.nan. Okay, now now for checking null values again, after converting the select to null values in the data frame, what I'm trying to do here. Now, again, I'm gonna check after, making, select. I'm after replacing select to the null values. I'm again gonna check the null values. So once again, I will check the null values. What I will do with that? Now, you can see here after the change of that select value, okay, to the null values, I can see I am getting more null values. Okay. So once I'll get more null values, what does that mean is there are, nothing has to be filled, even in lead profile, even in lead quality, and most of the values are empty. Okay. So now, if we will see that these values are empty, then we need to fill something. Okay. So here you can see like, how did you hear about X education? Most of the places there is null value. Nobody has clicked anything. Nobody has mentioned anything. Okay. So that means these are the values which is not being filled by any user. Okay. Now, how do you make your model if you have that much missing values? So I'll tell you. Here I am trying to mention there is a significant increase in the null value in the column like lead profile, city. How did you hear about education? So you can see here lead profile is this much. How did you hear about X education, which is also 70.46? Okay, so these are having null values, more null values, and these are the columns which do not have null values. So practically, when we do real time project, or maybe you can say like when we do real time analysis, we never get curated data, or we never get actual, means you can say like we never get what, we never get the correct data. We always get lot of error on the data. We always get a lot of missing values on the data, because the human is only going to fill the entire form, and we are also human. We never fill entire thing exactly, or maybe at the entire thing perfectly. So that is why we used to get a lot of erroneous data or lot of null values. Okay, so there is a rule, not to say rule, but somewhere you have to just think about it. Sometimes we, what we do, if there is a 70% plus more missing values, we try to drop that column. Okay, how do we do that? Why we do that? Because if there is a column, let's say if there is a column in which 70% or plus more missing values, then what is the purpose of taking that column, or what is the purpose of considering that column? What is the purpose of considering that column? Tell me. Okay, so that is why we try to drop that, because your data is incorrect. The more your data incorrect, the more you led to the inaccuracy. So that means you will get always a worst kind of accuracy when your data is wrong, or when you do have lot of missing values, you do have lot of error in your data. So that is why we do EDA part. So people may ask, TCS guy may ask, how do you remove that missing value? First of all, you need to tell, we can drop the column which has 70% or 80% missing values. Okay, because that doesn't make any sense to carry you forward those columns. Now, what would be the numerical variables? So as we can see here, these are the numerical variables. So you can check first of all which are integer type, which are float type. You would be able to see easily which are numerical variables. So I'm just trying to take those numerical variables. So these are the numerical values. What are numerical values? Total visits, total time spent on the website, page visits per visit. So as you can see, like these are the parameters which are quite more important to the model development, and these are the some variables which are, you can say, categorical variable. Okay, now these lead origin, lead source, last activity, country, specialization, what is your current occupation, these are nothing but the categorical variables. Now, as you have already looked into the data, what would be the lead origin? Just I'm trying to look some of the part of the data. So I'm just trying to make it head of that. So head will show you always the top 5 rows of the data. Okay, always remember, dot head always shows the top 5 rows of a data frame. So here I would be getting like lead origin, lead source, last activity, and 5 total number of rows. Okay, now what is binary variable? Variable with yes or no, or only binary variables. So binary variables are those variables which has value either yes or either no. Okay, so that is what binary variables are. Now, so I am separately looking into the binary variables. Okay, so here in binary variables, if you will see, do not email, do not call, search, magazine, newspaper, article, X education forum, newspaper, digital advertisement, I agree to pay the amount to the check, a free copy of mastering the interview, something like that. These are the nothing but the binary variable. Okay. So you separately handle different kind of a variable in a different manner. Excuse me. Now you can check here what you can check if the prospect ID are unique. Okay, so I'm gonna check here prospect ID whether it's a unique or not. So shape of the data frame is what? So suppose I have removed how many columns I have removed? 2, 3. I guess 2 or 3 columns I have removed. Now, if I have removed, I have dropped 3 columns. That means earlier we have 38 column I guess. So now it remains 35. Okay. So now if again we can check our this, we would be able to see that unique count of leads based on the lead number are this much. And we can see like there are no duplicate values in the data frame. Now, checking the various yes or no binary categorical variables. So I'm trying to, take the summary of some of the variables. Okay. So do not email is my one of the binary variables. But if we will look into that, you can see we have 9240 total count. Okay. Out of that, 8506 are no. Only 734 people are yes. Okay. That means majority of the values belongs to category no. Okay. Means they used to prefer do not mail. They don't want anything on a mail. But and here also it is saying like majority of the values belongs to category no. Even they don't want to call us. Okay, that means people don't recommend neither call neither email from the X forum or X agency or maybe X organization. Then how do you think like they would be able to understand? Now, if we can see the search, okay, if we can see the search, how do you identify that search as well? So I'm just trying to get what exactly the search does. So search has unique 2, no 9226 and 14. So here majority of the values belong to category no, and we can say this column is not significant. Okay, now summary here I'm trying to write like summary leads is nothing but the magazine which I'm trying to describe here. Okay, and then we are also trying to see what exactly the values I am getting in a magazine. So if you will see here, we are getting 9240 out of 9240. Everyone is saying no. So nobody get the advertisement from the magazine. We don't need to carry this particular variable as well. Now, again, I'm taking another column which is named as newspaper article. How many of you are seeing from newspaper? Only 2 people are able to see through the newspaper article. So, my ex organization has published advertisement in the newspaper. How many people are able to understand? How many of you, total number of people, how many of how many people were able to see that advertisement? Okay. So that means out of 9240, only 2 people have seen the advertisement, or maybe you can say like only 2 people have got the reference through the newspaper article. Okay, so that is also not necessary to keep that variable. Now in summary, it was mentioned X Education Forum. Okay, so how many of people have got information from the X Education Forum? Okay, so from X Education Forum, only one person got the info from X Education. So that is also not needed. This column is also not needed. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to remove the unnecessary columns. I'm trying to drop those columns which are not useful for my model development. So in this manner, I keep on removing the variables one by one. I'm trying to drop variables one by one so that my model get a good accuracy. I'm not gonna keep all the fields which are not necessary. Okay. So in this manner, we can just move on. We can move on, move on. Here we can see all the variables. I have just looked into it and just trying to remove that if at all possible. If there is significance for some variables, then we have to keep that variables. So here I have written some inference like based on the above analysis dropping the column. So these are the columns which are not useful for my model development. So here I am just trying to mention search, magazine, newspaper, article, X Education Forum, newspaper, digital advertisement, through recommendation, receive more update about our courses, update me on supply chain content, get update on DM content, city, I agree to pay the amount through the check, a free copy of mastering the interview. So these are the column which are not useful for us, okay, while model development. So I'm gonna delete these columns or maybe I'm gonna drop this column. So how do we do that? I'm just making the name of this column into one of a list which is named as a del underscore column, and just I'm gonna drop it from the data frame. So data frame is name of the data frame is leads, and I'm gonna call the drop function dot drop, and then I'm gonna delete all the columns which has mentioned in this list. Okay, that's it. So if we will drop that, dropping the column need number, as it will not add any values in our modeling. So that is what I have done. Now, after dropping the column, that means we would be able to handle the missing values. Now, once we have done that, now we can just plot. We can plot and we can see what is the significance of the features of the variables which we are taking or which we are considering for our help. Okay, so that is what also we need to look. So let me just have a look into it. So I am trying to create one function. I'm trying to define one function which is used to display the unique categorical variable and do a scatter plot to understand their relationship. Okay, I know you guys are thinking like it's a very tough, but truly speaking it's very easy. Okay, so it's very easy. When I say that doesn't mean it's very much easy. It means you have to put down your effort, and then only you can get this kind of a case study. So if even though if I am giving you 100% of my case study, if you would be able to do 50% of this case study, then TCS people will recognize you. And I'm betting you, if you do half of my things, basically in my even my case study, even suppose let's say I'm gonna give you this case study, okay, and you have done something by your own, okay, then if you would be able to do 50% of my entire case study, then I am pretty much sure nobody would you know nobody would reject you. Everybody would ask you to come and just explain about this, because this is not that much simple, and it is not also that much tough. But They want you to understand the entire phenomena, the entire activity of this kind of a case study. Okay. Now here, what I've done, I have just trying to plot or maybe trying to display the relationship between the two categorical variables. Okay. So what I'm trying to do here is I just wanted to see converted or not converted. So 0 is what? 0 is our not conversion, 1 is our conversion rate. So I'm just trying to visualize this. Okay. For what? For these many websites or total time spent on the website or converted, which variable is quite related to which one? So here I have mentioned function to display the unique categorical variables. Okay, and do a scatter plot to understand their relationship. Okay, so here if you will see, you can see here 0 is not converted, 1 is converted. Now, how many people are converted using API? So you can see the ratio is a bit low, less. Now, how many people are converted through the landing page submission? The ratio is also less, but lead ad form means the form which you guys are providing, more conversion is coming from that. Okay, and click add form, no, quick add form is also very less people have opted for it. Okay, so you can see like most of the people are converted from the either API, from landing page submission, or from lead ad form. Okay, now I have just visualized the some sort of scatter plot, how exactly the data is being distributed. So you can just recall that, or maybe you can just call this SNS dot pair plot and column name. You have to specify the column name, converted total within total time. Okay. Now I'm trying to visualize do not call. Suppose in do not call there are no, most of them have mentioned no, and one is for the person to whom we are calling. But you can see here, though we do not call, people used to prefer most of the time do not call, but the person to whom we have called, out of that, you know to whom we call, nobody has opted for it. Okay, nobody. In yes field we haven't got anything, but in no field we have got this. So even if we do not make a call to the people, but still those people are getting converted. Okay, otherwise we will make our mind as if we will not call, how do people get converted? But that is not the fact. People may not be interested into taking your calls about advertisement, but they are interested. So that analogy is false here. Now even here also I have plotted same thing, and even you can say here do not email here if I have I'm not gonna send them a mail, but still conversion is there. Okay, so that is what happening. Now understanding the categorical variable, the last activity. So here what we are trying to do, plot unique lead source. So we are trying to plot what would be the most effective lead source. So we are trying to plot that. So if you will see here, lag chat this chat is a most effective lead source. Okay, but if you will see the purple color of this Google, that means in the advertisement, if we will give there more advertisement on a Google, most of the people are getting converted. So highest conversion rate through the Google, and then we can have a bit less conversion rate through the direct traffic. That means on the landing on the website. Then we have reference. Very many people are from the references. We have the same number of people from the what is that, some search and Clark chat. Okay, so why we are doing this kind of exercise? At least you should be able to understand what is the logic behind keeping one particular variable. Why we are keeping one variable? So this plot is being created for what? This plot is being created for lead source. Okay, so we are trying to understand what it be the major lead source. So we got conclusion. Okay, now in France there are 21 unique values, so it's better to combine the smaller ones to architect the others. Now here if you will see lead source, I just wanted to pull out all the values, how many people are converted to the lead source. So you can see here clearly from Google there are almost 3000 people are getting converted. Okay, and direct traffic it's a 2500 around, other from this and this. Okay, now you can see here I am trying to replace a small g to capital G. Okay, now you can see here somewhere it was mentioned as in small g. Yeah, so it's a Google. So now I'm just trying to do capital G. So you can see here we were doing capital G. Now, yeah. So even last activity, and we can see this particular variable. So if you will, look into the same graph which I was talking about for the, you know, last time, like from where exactly the most of the time people are getting. So even in the last activity, so you can see here this purple line is for converted. Now most of the people are from last activity, like we have sent through the SMS, and then we have done the email chaining. Okay, so this is how we can observe clearly one by one all the variables, and we would get the significant changes on that. Okay, so in this age if you would be able to do these kind of stuff, then I'm pretty much sure nobody would able to reject you. And though it's a pretty much very it's a bit lengthy process, but yeah, I'm not asking you to perform each and every step which I have performed here. See, because we are the people who does lot of analysis, so we do each and every variable, we look very concisely one variable at a time, and then we will derive some sort of analogy whether this particular analogy works fine for me or not. But if that is not the case, then you have to we would not be able to do lot many analogy, and we would not be able to create some sort of a output, or basically we can say like some sort of a now here here what we need to do is you just need to look the basic columns, or maybe you can say like field which are essential for you, and you would think like no, this particular variable we need to take into the consideration. Okay, so as you can see here, in even in the lead specialization, we can see here finance management people are they are more aggressive to take the classes. Okay, and apart from that, even the person who belongs to human resource management, they are also willing to take the courses. So in this way you would able to get to whom you are going to focus, who are the people to whom you are getting your target, or maybe you to whom you are going to get more focus. So next time, suppose you would like to make a call to people, or maybe suppose you wanted to make an aggressive move, then to whom you make a call. So you will definitely make a call to the finance management people, and maybe the person who belongs to human resource management people, or maybe marketing management people. Okay, but you would not be gonna touch to the e-business people, or maybe rural and agriculture business people, because their account is very less as compared to the finance management people. Okay, now whenever the specialization is not available, there are chances that it is not available in the list of the choices. So what we have to do, so we have to replace the values with the others. How do we do that? So suppose somewhere you have found specialization and there is a null value. Okay, then what would you do that? They have filled somewhere others as well. Now by mistake they have done this sort of error, they have created this kind of an error. Now instead of others you have to fill specialization. Okay, now when you fill that, you would be able to see the null values, whether we are getting any null values further or not. So we are getting zero null values. Okay, and now you have to see who are the people in which occupation, those who are willing to take the courses. Okay, so now you can see here, I can see from this graph the person who are employed. Okay, they are willing to take the courses. Okay, most of the person who are having employed, they are willing to take these kind of courses, and the person who are professional, they are also willing to take the courses, but the students are having very less chances. Okay, and what about the other? No businessman, no even housewives, these people are not interested to take the courses. So next time whenever you make a call, definitely you will not make a call to the businessman, neither you can make a call to the housewives. Okay, now here you can see like simply uh, sorry, I was saying employed, it's a unemployed, the person who are unemployed, they would willing to take the courses. Okay, so the count is 5600, you can say like out of all the counts, basically these many people are willing to take the courses. Even working professional are quite a bit interested into taking the courses. No, but a housewife very few, and businessman is also very few. Now, is there any doubt? Is there any question so far? So far, guys, please do respond, because good case study and very good. That is why TCS people have asked you to combine two different case study. In this case study, I'm gonna cover two different case studies. Okay, so that is why I keep on asking whether you would be able to understand this or not, you would be able to correlate this particular case study or not. I'm not getting any responses. What do I understand with that? Wow, thank you so much. At least one girl, she's following me. Very good. I'm very much happy. At least anyone, can you please tell whether you have a doubt or not? Means, are you comfortable so far or not? Okay. Now people are asking to end the session. Is it right time to end the session? Okay. I really do not have any issue with that. If you want me to end the session, I can do that. Just wanted to check with Venkatesh sir. Are you
Sir,
there?
sir,
Yes, sir. Sir.
you please assign some tasks to the students so
Okay.
that
Okay.
tomorrow we can verify the task, sir.
Okay. 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 Fine. Fine.
Actually, it's one all students must do front end for their
Yes.
application,
Yes. Yes.
so that
Yes.
you have to assign some task or any frame with what are the topics we are
Okay.
covered.
Okay.
Huh?
Okay.
So
Sure.
that they are familiar with first part of the work.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
You please assign such.
Yes. Sir. Sure. Okay. So, guys, as I said, you have to come up with the UI. I'm not giving you a very tough task, as this is the first class. That is why I will ask you to, just make some sort of assignment. So let me just share with you the input field. Let me just share you the input field. Okay. So I guess everybody would be able to see this. Okay. Now your first task is to create input field as, if you want you can note it down. Okay. Create input field as lead origin. So what would you do that? How do you make that? Okay. So you have to create input field as lead origin, and in that you have to make these many checkboxes. So checkboxes should be either API, either landing page submission, either lead add form, and lead import quick add form. Okay, this is what your checkbox is. Either people can select one of them actually. So it's basically a checkbox. So first of all, you have to just checkbox, assign some checkboxes. Okay, in that checkboxes you can just make this. So guys, please note it down: API, landing page submission, lead add form, lead import, and maybe end of the session I will provide this data to you all. Okay, but that is not at all useful for you, because you are gonna make just a UI. Okay, so it's better if I will provide you instead of this. What I can do is, just a moment. Yeah, so it's better if I can provide you this form. Yeah, will it be okay, guys?
Excellent.
Yeah, this would be much better.
Yes, yes.
So what we can do that, so lead number, truly speaking, for the time being you just create lead number as in what is that, label along with text box. Okay, but this lead number you would need to find later on, using database. So that I will talk later. So that is why leave this. You don't need to make the field for this. In the your entire UI, you have to make lead origin. As I said, you have to just mention API, landing page submission, or maybe you can say like what all I have showed you previously. Now, what was the lead source? The source of the lead, maybe you can take it as a Google. You can, again, it's a checkbox. So keep in mind these two are the checkboxes. Now, these are the Boolean. So Boolean, do not mail, do not email. That means you have to give a radio button, a button, where out of two you have to select one. That is nothing but the Boolean button. Okay. Same with the do not call. Okay. And then converted, this is nothing but your output variable. So this should be come on the right side. This should come on the right side, where you should mention just converted, and here also you have to just provide yes or no. Okay. Total visits, this total visit, who is going to enter total number of visits made by the customer on the website. Do you think it should be included into that? Anyway, for the time being, you have to enter that. Okay. Total time spent on a website. So you have to mention this on a website. Okay. Make a field, make a, one sort of a label corresponding one sort of a text box actually. Okay. Where you should enter everything manually. Okay. Country, just specify India or 3-4 countries, that is, but that is drop down. So here I'm just gonna mention drop down. Yeah, so here we can mention as in drop down. Yeah, it's a drop down. Okay. Specialization, you can mention as in drop down. Okay, so here I'm gonna write field, and here I'm just talking about what exactly field you have to take. Lead origin, as I said, it's a what? It's the text. Sorry, it's a checkbox. It's a checkbox. So this one is checkbox, and then other one is also checkbox. Okay, and then do not mail. It's a you can say like boolean button. Okay, this is also a boolean variable. So, and these are nothing but the text box. And this one is also text box. This is also a drop down. This is also a drop down. So if you may forget to give the name of drop down many names, so don't worry about it, because it's just a first assignment for you. I'm pretty much sure like you would be happy if you will come up with this UI. Okay, so now so I will take a snapshot of this and I'm gonna share with you all over the WhatsApp. And yeah, at the end, guys, please listen carefully. At the end, you have to just make one button as in submit and cancel. Okay, are you listening to me or not? So this is what the field, and here I'm gonna mention submit, cancel, and clear button. Yeah, guys, please come up with this kind of a UI. Okay, so far are we good? you got in WhatsApp this case study? Guys, are you getting my point or not? Hello. Okay, thank you. Yeah, so those who will get a good sort of UI, we will definitely provide some sort of a cookie. Okay, so better come up with, if somebody would like to know about some advanced thing, then please make a colorful UI. It would be great. Make the changes of a color, as I have told you, the background color. Maybe you can make foreground color also changes in a foreground color. You try to decorate your entire UI. Okay, so that's it for today. And if you have any doubt, please do let me know. Reach out to me. If I'm not available on a phone, please try to, what you can do. Try to ping me over the WhatsApp. Okay, it would be great if you would ping me. Okay, Venkatesh sir.
Okay, tell me, sir.
Yes, sir. Sir,
Okay.
I guess this should be fine for now, because today it's a first.
Okay, sir. It's first.
Yeah, that's what.
First one is completed. I think every student will prepare such a UI for their
Yes, sir.
case study.
Yes, sir. Okay.
చూడండమ్మా అందరూ ఈ ఇచ్చిన ప్రకారం ఒక శాంప్లెట్ మీరు ప్రిపేర్ చేయండి. రేపు ఉదయం అందరు మళ్ళీ రేపు నేను చూస్తాను అన్ని క్లాసులు. సరేనా? మీకు అది ఉపయోగం. సరేనా? ఓకే. ఓకే సార్.
Okay,
సార్.
yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir. Okay. Yeah.